Hey there, welcome to the Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. If you just now discovered my channel, yay, you're finally here. I've been waiting for you. And if you're a returning subscriber, yay, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate your support. And if my reviews are helpful, like the videos, comment down below, subscribe, you know the drill. My goal is to give you the heads up on filmmaking quality and content so that you can decide whether or not you want to spend time or money or both watching a particular film. So today, the particular film that I'm reviewing is called Life After Fighting. This dramatic movie is available now on Amazon Prime Video and Fandango at home. It's rated R. It's 2 hours and 0 minutes, which means it's 2 hours long. And my overall movie review mom grade is an A-. I actually really enjoyed this film. So first I'm going to give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things I liked, things I didn't like, tips for parents, themes worth talking about if you watch this with other people, and stuff you can talk about after you see it. Interesting lines, funny lines, and recommendations for other films that are sort of similar that you might also really like. All right, so you ready to dive in? Me too. All right, so in a nutshell, the story is about a martial arts instructor who is confronted with the disappearance of 2 of his students, leading him into direct confrontation with a group of international child traffickers. Bren Foster directed the movie, wrote the movie, and also stars in the movie. He's got what it takes to be a big star in Hollywood with that cute Aussie accent, strong bod, ruggedly handsome face, and kind heart. You can tell this was a passion project. And now I am a huge fan of his and can't wait to see what he does next. Kudos to the entire cast and crew. Tips for parents are that there is profanity, including F-bombs. We see a lot of fighting using martial arts. However, some of it is very bloody and brutal violence. But they're all bad guys who deserve what's coming to them. So I guess there's that. Seriously. There is bullying and talk of suicide. Several girls are kidnapped, and we see a man cut off someone's bloodied finger. Actually, we see a lot of bloodied body parts being dismembered. So there's that. So just be forewarned, this is not a family-friendly movie, but I love vigilante justice movies, and that's kind of what this movie is. Some of the themes that are illustrated very well are self-defense, self-control, parenting, divorce, mixed martial arts, of course, moving forward in life, and child trafficking and kidnapping, which I'm so happy to see that that topic is being addressed in so many movies nowadays. We need to be aware of what's going on and take action on that. Maybe not, this violent vigilante action. Now, on to the list of things that I liked about this movie. First of all, we see some fantastic mixed martial arts moves. Believe it or not, Bren Foster and his stunt team are so incredibly quick that no CGI was used, and they did not speed up any of the fight scenes. It's all real. Bren's double roundhouse kicks are crazy impressive. And set your clock for the 1 hour, 50-minute mark for some totally awesome moves by Bren. It's something that you've seen in cartoons, and yet you didn't realize it's physically possible for a human to do this kind of stuff. When you watch it, when I watched it, my mouth just dropped. I went, whoa, that's amazing and awesome. Now, I'm not a big fan of bloody violence, obviously, but I enjoyed watching the scumbag pedophiles get their butts kicked because they deserve that and so much more. Believe it or not, I actually have a black belt in Taekwondo. I took classes with some of my sons, and one of my sons is still actively working out at a studio that specializes in mixed martial arts. So one of my sons and I both got black belts. And during that time, my husband was like, I'm less and less impressed with black belts. now that I see that you have one. However, he and another one of my sons actually got black belts in Rushindo, which is just another a mixed martial arts type of thing. And now he obviously respects martial arts. Back to Bren Foster. How did I miss him? I'd never seen him in anything before. He is terrific and the newest heartthrob on the block. The rest of the cast is terrific too. It includes Cassie Howarth, Luke Ford, and the young Anthony Nassif. However, the entire cast was really, really good. The soundtrack is great too. Bren Foster is so multi-talented that he actually wrote the lyrics to the song The Last Dance that we hear in the movie. One of the children offers to buy someone an ice cream cone, and so she says, "It's my shout." And I had never heard that expression before. So I guess that's how they say, "Oh, it's my treat" in Australia. The sound effects team did an impressively effective job with bone crunching sounds and other crazy effects. The blood and gore team worked overtime and made everything look very realistic. You could almost call this a horror movie by some of the things that we see when these bad guys get what's coming to them. I figured the abducted kids would be rescued in a blaze of glory, but it's much more than that. I kind of thought, oh, we're wrapping up to the final scene. And then I realized, wait, no, the movie still got quite a bit of time left. And so I was curious to see what was going to happen. Bren Foster, Keanu Reeves, and Jake Gyllenhaal could join forces and make quick work of rescuing children from the sex trade, right? All right, you three, get on that, would you? I was happy that Bren's character didn't fall for a plastic princess of a woman, but instead for a hardworking, responsible single mother who also happened to be very pretty. As if Bren Foster didn't already prove he's one incredible guy, he dedicated this movie to his mom. Aww. Now, with all of that praise, there were just a few things that I didn't like or thought could have been done differently or better. For example, I hate shaky cam. It just makes me dizzy and annoyed. And we see a lot of that during the close-up scene. So no more of that, okay, Bren? The title made me laugh because the protagonist still does a lot of fighting after his professional career, because it's called Life After Fighting, but he's doing a lot of fighting, obviously. It drives me nuts when characters make really dumb choices. And there's one really dumb choice that I was like, come on, you could have done this or you could have done that. But that's okay, because when I see characters do something, it makes me start talking to the movie. And that's engagement. And I think that's the mark of a good movie, is when the audience is feeling a visceral reaction, right? A bad guy drops a gun, but no one really goes for it. Really? That's easier to use than perfecting punches and kicks, right? And that always drives me nuts in movies, when weapons are just tossed and nobody's getting them. They're expensive and valuable. I was worried that some of the fight sequences would begin to look the same, punch, kick, bad guy goes down, that kind of thing. But eventually there was some great variety, especially in that last fight scene where Bren is single-handedly fighting all of these bad guys, but in different ways. And so I was like, okay, that's good. And then, like I said, that 1 minute 50 mark, I was like, whoa, okay, save that for the grand finale. That was totally awesome and worth waiting for. So whenever I watch movies, I take notes, obviously, but I write down funny lines and interesting lines simply so I can share them with you, so you can get a taste of the script writing quality and dialogue quality, that kind of thing. So here are some funny lines. And by the way, you can see all of these on my written review at moviereviewmom.com. So Alex is the name of the character Bren Foster is playing. And so he's flirting with this girl, and she kind of trips and falls, and he says, "I should have told you don't fall, because I will laugh." So they have a very playful, respectful relationship throughout, which I think is really great. And then a really sweet, interesting line is spoken by Alex's brother-in-law. Alex does something for him, and so the brother-in-law says, "There's nothing I could ever say or do to thank you enough." And then Alex says, "You don't have to say anything. You're family." And then Ben Foster, I mentioned, wrote the words to the song in the movie that says, fight for what you love. And so it's not like he's just, this fighting guy he loves to destroy. When I was taking Taekwondo, my teacher was very clear. You don't fight just for the sake of fighting because you want to fight. If you have an opportunity, if trouble is coming your way, run the opposite direction. You don't have to fight unless it's forced upon you and you're defending yourself or defending someone you love, that kind of thing. And so, we get that from Bren as well, that you don't just fight. Well, now, for him, it was a profession, but he didn't pick any of these fights in this movie. The trouble came to him. And so then he was defending things that he loved and people he loved. All right, so whenever I watch movies, I immediately think of other movies. And so I wanted to share 3 of them with you. The first one is Sound of Freedom. That one came out last year and just gutted me. It was really the first big movie, I would say, about child trafficking and how it all goes down. And it featured a wonderful organization called Operation Underground Railroad. And I volunteered with them and done some projects with them over the years. And the story in this movie is the story of the guy who started that organization and how he rescues children, how he has done it in the past. It's all based on true events. Anyway, really powerful movie. Another movie that really flew under the radar, but also illustrated child trafficking, is called Paradise Highway. And I thought it was well done and really interesting. And then another one that just came out recently, I think maybe 2-3 months ago. I don't know, time always flies by so fast, but I reviewed actually all 3 of these movies, but I think I'll queue up Sound of Freedom just because that's sort of the bigger one right after this movie. So if you're interested, you can watch my review of that one. Anyway, this last one is called Maya, and it's a different take on child trafficking, how some girls blindly volunteer, kind of. They go into it really not understanding exactly what it is, thinking it's something else. Anyway, I thought that one was also really interesting and enlightening. All right, let's put an end to child trafficking in general, children and adults, all of it. Let's get rid of it once and for all. And if you know how, if you have an organization, comment down below. Let us know what we can do to help too. All right. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. Hopefully it was helpful. And when you get a minute, run over to Instagram. You can find me as Movie Review Mom, but you can also find me as my author name, which is my real name, Trina Boice, where you can learn about my 31 books when they go for sale for free on Amazon and my products and my other shenanigans. Have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.